basically 10 inches off of my waist in 1 year. Off of my waist.
What the heck?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Kayla, if you don't know me already. So today I'm going to be sharing you my measurements from a year ago, exactly a year ago, when I first started my fitness journey 6 months ago, after the end of my build phase, and what that looked like in comparing and contrasting the two. And then today, at the end of my cut phase, where I am the leanest I have been, and I'll be sharing my journey, I'll be sharing my weights, I'll be showing you a graph of my weights, and yeah, I'm really excited to show like all of this analytical data that I've collected over the last year on my body. But I want to do this with this in mind, with this disclaimer in mind that comparison is a thief of joy. And my measurements are my measurements. I'm a completely different person. I have a completely different fat to muscle ratio. Really, I want to share these as a way to compare to my own self. And I don't want y'all to be comparing yourself to me. But I just want to try to emphasize going about this video in a very mentally healthy light. So if you guys have questions about that, let me know. But let's get into the measurements from exactly 1 year ago. I literally cannot believe that is me. I just remember taking that video and just feeling like such crap and thinking to myself, I am never, ever, ever gonna share this. And here we are a year later sharing it. It's kind of crazy. So my chest measurement is 41.75 inches. My arms are 12.75 inches. My waist is 38 inches. My upper thigh is 24 inches. My hip is 43.5 inches. My weight is 181 pounds, and I have a total of 160 inches. So here is my 6-month point, my halfway mark. I just remember thinking like, the progress I made has been just so awesome. Like, I'm so excited to see where I've been going with this. And I just remember like how cool it was that my body was changing in my photos, but it was not being represented properly by the scale. I felt like I expected the scale to be going down, but it was going up. And so I just proved to myself over and over and over that the scale shit. So my chest measures at 39 inches, arms are 13.75 inches, waist is 34 inches, upper thigh is 22 inches, my hips here are 44.5 inches, my weight is 186 pounds, and my total inches are 153.25. My chest measured 39 inches, so I lost 2.75 inches in my chest. My arms measured 13.75 inches, so I gained 1 inch in my arms, which is exactly what we're looking for. So we're trying to build muscle. I'm expecting my inches to increase. I'm expecting my weight to go up, if anything. My waist was 34 inches, so I actually lost 4 inches in my waist. So what we can kind of gather from that is that my body recompositioned itself, essentially. My upper thigh was 22 inches, so I lost 2 inches in my thighs. My hips were 44.5 inches, so I had gained 1 inch overall. That's exactly what I was looking for. My weight was 186 pounds, so I had gained 5 pounds. Just looking at this overall, saying that I've lost inches, I lost a lot of inches, and then I gained weight. So that tells me that there is some kind of body recomposition going on. So I created this graph so we can more closely analyze how stagnant my weight really was throughout the first 30 weeks of this process, noting that the entire process was 60 weeks, and we'll see the graph at the end. As you can see though, there's very little change in my weight, and I was consistently in the 180s for the first 30 weeks. So the first red X that you see is actually my lowest weight at 181 pounds in the first 30 weeks. And then we see my highest weight at 191 pounds toward the end of the 30 weeks. At 191 pounds, I had a really hard time holding on to that weight. Once we detrained slightly, that's where we see that slight drop, and then it started to level out again. This is me on the day of the photo shoot, which explains my hair. I had my hair all done. I was tan. I got a spray tends to bring out your leanness, your muscles a lot better, which is why all physique competitors get spray tan before their bodybuilding competitions. However, regardless, I have made so much progress. It's such a huge transformation, and I am literally so proud. Keep watching though, because my final measurements are coming next.
That difference is literally insane.
Dude, that means in 1 year, I lost 9 inches, basically 10 inches off of my waist in 1 year. Off of my waist.
What the heck?
So my chest measurements are 34.5 inches, my arms are 12 inches, my waist is 29.4 inches, my upper thigh is 21.5 inches, my hips are 39.2 inches, my weight is 164.5, and the total inches is 136.6. After my 6 months cut, I lost 4.5 inches off my chest, I lost 1.75 inches off my arms, I lost 4.6 inches off of my waist, I lost 1.5 inches off of my thigh, 5.3 inches off of my hips, I lost 21.5 pounds, and I lost a total of 16.65 inches. So as I've shown through this graph, the last 30 weeks is really where I saw some weight changes finally, but it really wasn't until the last couple of weeks where I saw the biggest decline in my weight when I went from 170 to 164, and a lot of that was just water weight due to the reality of me trying to prep for a photo shoot. Comparing my day 1 to my 378, I lost 7.5 inches in my chest, I lost 0.75 inches in my arms, I lost 8.6 inches in my waist, I lost 2.5 inches in my thigh, minus 4.3 inches in my hip, I lost 16.5 pounds total, and I lost a total of 23.4 inches. Holy guacamole, you guys. That is literally insane. Weight's a very arbitrary, subjective number that we need to stop putting our emotions into. Like, hey, we need to be looking at the photos, at the inches, and the weight. We can't just be looking at weight all the time, and we really need to take a step back from the scale. It was so difficult looking at my weight week to week with no movement, but I'm really grateful that that did happen, because it's proved to you that weight doesn't fucking matter. Here's an overall look at my weight throughout the 60 weeks, and you can see here that there was such little change. There's a lot of up and downs, it was stagnant, there was hardly any movement, and it wasn't very representative of the actual changes that I had seen. And my photos are in my measurements. You can see here, as I marked with the red X, that is my peak weight. The purple X marks the spot where I saw my most significant drop in weight. And the green X marks where I just had that last week where we peaked out and I just dropped more weight. This graph is not a representation of my actual results and how insane they were. It's purely just looking at the photos and the measurements. However, the last 30 weeks, yes, you can see a decline in the weight, but there was a lot of up and downs before we even got there. And again, no, it's over 30 weeks. That is a lot of different measurements. This process was not easy. It is more than just weight loss. It was breaking years worth of bad habits. It was looking in the mirror on the days I wanted to ignore it. was overcoming my past injuries and enduring new ones. It's dealing with the toxicity of my previous relationships. I cried often. I prayed hard. I went to therapy weekly. I stayed single so I couldn't hide from my issues any longer. It was so lonely and it was isolating, and I felt so lost most days. But as time passed on, as the days went by, so did my pain. My smile became deeper. The facade I habitually put up was fading. I was becoming stronger. I was becoming independent. I was finally becoming the girl that I envisioned. I stopped searching for the light at the end of the tunnel, and it became it. I was the person I needed the whole time, and I finally internalized it. I did not do this for the view at the top. I didn't do this just to look good. I did this for the climb. And it is incredibly freeing.